Sport and State out of the gates and ready to go. He's Chad Withrow. I'm Jonathan Hutton. This is Hutton Withrow, presented by Hard Rock Bets. And Chad, it is great to be a part of Clay Travis's new media platform, sportandstate.com, and we're streaming live on YouTube at Hutton Withrow. Here we go, man. We are the wait is over. We've been saying we're going to be a part of something huge, and when Clay starts something, it generally turns out fantastic. We're thrilled to be a part of this.
Yeah, very, very excited, Hutton. And, I'm really thinking about where we've been and where we're going with all of this. And it really is incredible when you think about exactly what Clay has done in the past, what Clay's going to build and do in the future with this, and just the anticipation of being able to discuss what exactly we're going to do with this larger network with Sport and State. You heard Clay about 45 minutes ago go live and announce what it is that he's doing. Hutton, I'm sitting here reading before we go live, sportandstate.com. It's up, it's live, it's functional. The first story, graph number 2, Jonathan Hutton gets the mention for sharing a hotel room with Clay Travis in the Winfrey Hotel on that fateful night back in 2011 when he launched Outkick. He launches Outkick and gives us the great opportunity to work for Outkick in a company of that size, and we're grateful for that opportunity, Hutton. There are people that like to be around during planting season, and there are people that like to be around during harvest season. Most people want to be around during the harvest season.
Yeah.
We came into Outkick after Clay had done the work, laid the groundwork. He had gone through the planting season, and he was there for harvest season. Now we get to be in something that is in the planting season. And Hutton, I know that gets you and I excited. We like to build things. We want to start things, right?
We get to be a part of day one, right? And that's what's exciting. He wrote about the ability to. It's more about quality instead of quantity, right? And that's what we're hoping to do each and every day. We're live 8 to 10 Eastern every morning, and excited to be a part of what's going to be a great lineup here at Sport and State. That's the other thing is we're starting from day one, I believe, with more employees already than what he had whenever we joined Outkick in 2021. And that was nearly 20 at the time.
Yeah, it's crazy to think, we joined Outkick 10 years in, right?
Yeah,
and now here we are at Sport and State day one. And again, I love being a part of something that's new, that's going to take off. And Clay's vision, look, it's worked. Everything except for pants he succeeded in, right? He tried to make SEC pants. It failed miraculously when he tried that.
$50,000 worth, yeah. I'll never forget that. You're right.
And I thought even that might work, right? Even when he came to us with the idea of pants, Hutton, we're thinking, this is the dumbest idea I've ever heard, but it's Clay, so maybe it'll take off and maybe it'll work. But in all seriousness, I mean, we love being around Clay. We love working with him. When we signed up to work for Outkick, we signed up to work for Clay Travis at Outkick, right? Like nobody goes into something signing up saying, I want to work for corporate overlords. People that are watching the show right now that work for corporate overlords probably didn't say, you know what I really want to work for? This gigantic corporation one day and have 15 people telling me what to do. Nobody in life wants to do that. You either want to start your own thing and build it, or you want to work with people or for people that you truly care about, that you truly believe in. That's me with Clay. I think that's you with Clay.
Yes, it is. Yep.
And it does feel like a team here, Hutton, that is really special to be a part of so far. I mean, Jacob Lutz, who was one of the first hires for Sport and State with Clay,
well done,
has been terrific from the outset of getting the foundation laid of everything we need to do technically to make this thing a reality. We referenced it yesterday and revealed it, getting JT, Jordan Tinkle, back on board. After years, I saw this in a Tennessean story, 14 years. He was with 104.5 The Zone, to bring him back 5 years later to be a part of this show. We're getting to learn and know everybody else, right? Mark Herman, who's going to be a part of this. All the other producers, everybody else that makes sure that we're going to be on air every day. And we're talking every day here, Hutton. This is not going to be a 15-minute, 2 or 3 time a week thing.
No,
we come
live
from the world of doing 3 and 4 hours a day. We're going to be live 2 hours every morning right here on the Hutton Withrow YouTube page.
And Chad, we get to, Clay said he didn't want to work for anyone. He wanted to be the boss, right? Like he
didn't want to be an employee.
Right. Yeah. We're an employee of Clay, and that's it.
Yeah.
Like and we get to control our content. We get to discuss what we want to talk about each and every day. We're in control of that. That's huge in today's media age, right? The other thing is we're live on purpose because in the AI world, everything is manufactured and teleprompter. And we get to react in the mornings with the headlines live. And as things happen, we hope people will join in with us because we're going to get the authentic approach. And we always talk about smart, original, funny, authentic. We're going to bring that each and every day. That's our hope.
I mean, we're so thankful for our audience, first and foremost. We
Yes.
should have started with that. We've been very fortunate and blessed, Hutton, to work at places that have had a lot of success,
Yes.
along the way. And
Very,
I put
very
Outkick
blessed.
in that category also after 104.5 The Zone. Being at places that are successful, it's not by accident. There are reasons for that. There are reasons, as Clay laid out. He doesn't make any excuses about anything. He kind of controls his own fate with everything that he's done. And he's been a success in everything except pants. Last time I'll reference the SEC pants. But he's a success for a reason. We are successful because of our audience. And Hutton, our solemn pledge to the audience is we're going to talk about what you would be talking about. Whether it be
That's right.
around the I don't know if they even have water coolers at the office anymore, but if they do, it's there. It could be on your Zoom meeting for work. It could be at the bar. It could be
Right.
while you're playing 18 holes. We want to bring to you the discussions that matter to you, the discussions that get you laughing, that get you excited, that get you pissed off for greatness. Those are the topics we want to bring to this show every single day. And we hope that a lot of people jump in and come along for the ride because, Hutton, we've always worked best being a part of a community, knowing the people that we're talking to. We feel like we got a pretty good hand on the pulse of what people want to talk about and what they want to hear. But we want to expand that audience and grow with the core people that we've had before. And we're excited to get rolling with that.
That's right. And just be authentic, right? And have an opinion. We'll do that. Coming up in today's show, speaking of, we'll discuss Jaden Daniels and the craziness down at LSU. Deion Sanders, wait until you hear about the media policy in Colorado. The top 25 for college football is unveiled. We will go through what Clay has unveiled at sportstate.com, the full lineup, which is here each and every day. Plus, Chad, we debut the depth chart, which is the definitive list when it comes to college football coaches. That's today's topic.
And this is where we want to go with the depth chart. Like you hear the depth chart, everybody knows what that is. This is going to be a definitive ranking, but it's not just going to be with sports. A crazy idea, right? Like it could be something, could be the best bad TV show you've watched recently. I watched the show Cape Fear. It was awful from start to finish. It was one of the trashiest shows I've ever seen, but it was terrific. I was on the edge of my seat. I'd go watch the thing right now, start to finish, and binge it again, Hutton. Everybody's got that show. Everybody's got that taste for something. The depth chart is going to encompass all things, and we're going to kick it off today.
Let's start, though, with what Clay also just discussed, where he's doubled down the bet with the WNBA champions, the Las Vegas Aces, where it's still a $10 million on the table bet, where it will be the champions from the WNBA against his team, which was of the best high school boys basketball team he could put together. He has now said it will be a team of eighth graders. He will take a team of eighth graders, the best, or however he wants to choose, and take on the WNBA. He says he wins. The money goes to charity, or it goes to the WNBA players if they can beat Clay's team. How about that? $10 million, which, by the way, is what they get paid over the course of a season for the salary cap for the team. They want more money. Here you go. Las Vegas can cash in.
Hutton, so this is the first time. Everything that Clay said is completely true. Like, there's not a decent high school basketball state championship that would not beat the WNBA's Las Vegas Aces, the reigning champs. Personal story, Becky Hammond, who's the head coach of the Las Vegas Aces, I played against in college. I was a guy who was not even a graduate assistant. I was an intern for the women's professional team in Knoxville, Tennessee. And it was my responsibility to get a group of guys together to go play this professional women's team.
Three-point shooters?
We beat them.
How'd you choose it?
How did I choose the team?
Yeah.
I went and got the guys who were 30 pounds overweight in my fraternity that were good high school basketball players. I went and got other guys who were good, high school players, but weren't playing in college.
Yeah.
We were all at the University of Tennessee at the time, and we beat them. I mean, we would press them, and they'd have a hard time getting across half court. This was us in college. These were pro, and Becky Hammond is a great player, right, and a really good coach. but we would routinely beat them. Okay, so I know what Clay's saying. Most people with a brain understand what he's saying. Those men, the high school men, would win this game. When you look at eighth graders, Hutton, this is where I heard the challenge, and I immediately thought, okay, maybe Clay's out ahead of his skis on this one, and it couldn't happen. But then I go and look. The average Las Vegas Aces player is 5'11".
Yeah,
Their
exactly.
tallest players are 6'4" or 6'5". Hutton, I looked up class of 2030, eighth graders. David Modawi and Cannon Washington, 6'8" and 6'7".
Oh my God.
Rajon Rondo's kid, Pierre Rondo, is third on the list, a 5'11" point guard. I
He's on
think
the
I might
team.
have to
He
bet on
just
the
made the
eighth
roster.
graders. I
Rondo.
might have to bet on the eighth graders.
Yeah, I mean, I would too, and that's why they haven't accepted. They won't. They've not responded to Clay's offer. I mean, they want money. Here you go, 10 million. It goes to Tunsil Towers, or they can, if they win, they take Clay's money. Pay-per-view. It would be the most watched game in the history of the league.
It would indeed, Hutton. It would indeed. I would pay to watch it. We'd be there every single step of the way to watch that game happen. And hopefully somebody will and say, hey, we can beat some eighth graders and we're going to make a lot of money. Let's make it happen.
Jaden Daniels has sent LSU a cease and desist for the number 5. We discussed the PR nightmare that he's created for himself and his brand. And what's in a number? That's next here on Sport and State with Hutton Withrow. We're presented by Hard Rock Bet. We're live on the debut day, Wednesday, August 19th, 2026. Sport and State has launched, and so has Hutton Withrow. He's Chad Withrow. I'm Jonathan Hutton. Chad, we're a part of a big lineup here at Sport and State. We've got Next Round Live, which is coming which is announced at Sporting State through Clay's column this morning, which was, if you haven't seen it, we recommend you go to sportingstate.com for that. We have Kelly and Ariel and Joe coming up a little bit later for On Tilt. That'll be at 4 p.m. Eastern. And Clay and Buck debuting on video live at sportingstate.com each day.
Hutton, we've gone through this process of not knowing what we can say and what we can say about everything. So I went ahead, I did the work. I read Clay's welcome column,
Yep.
and I know that in that column, we can also welcome on the Next Round Live, which will start next week with a 2-hour special Sport and State version of the show. Lance Taylor, Ryan Brown, Jim Dunaway, they've done a great job in Birmingham for years. Excited to have them on board. There's going to be a very Southern Middle America feel to the lineup with some of the shows of where they're located. We're going to talk about everything
That's a great way to
that
put it.
matters nationally. But with us here in Nashville, Hutton, with Next Round Live in Birmingham, with Kelly in Florida, with Joe in Florida. I know Ariel's the outsider up in New York City. But it's going to be a great lineup. We're excited for it. And we get the honor of kicking it off every day, 8 a.m. Eastern time. And we're going to roll right through all these shows throughout the day on Sport and State. And hey, you can interact with us right now in the YouTube chat. People ask, where can you find us? Our YouTube page. It's very simple. Hutton Withrow. If you're watching right now, you can see us there. Jay says, congrats. Catfish Jake says, my 8th grade team at W.A. Bass Middle in 1994 would stomp the Aces. I didn't watch the W.A. Bass Middle team, but maybe that would be the case. But at least we know that they would play that game, unlike the Aces, who won't accept the challenge.
And I'm sure Catfish Jake would dress in a cheerleader uniform for that matchup, right? He would play the he would play the role of Enos Cantor.
Yes, he would. Yes, or I mean, look, if he need to put on a blonde wig like Royce White, he would do that.
The ultimate
He'll be
catfish.
your clown. He'll be whatever you need to be.
The ultimate catfish.
Yes.
That's right.
Yes. Well
That's
done.
right. Hey, so what's in a number here? Like, what number were you, and how valuable was it to you? I was number 3 playing football in high school.
I was number 3.
I was 34 in basketball.
Okay.
It really didn't matter. It was assigned to me. I didn't get to choose. Everybody growing up wanted to be 24 for Griffey. It didn't matter what sport. It was either 23 for Jordan or 24 for Griffey. What was trending for you, and did it matter to you which number you chose and which one you stuck with?
I mean, it's funny how we have this affinity for a certain number.
Right.
Like I always had to have a number that had a number 2 in it because I was born on February 22nd. So I was always like 2 was a big number to me growing up.
Yeah, you got the triple 2.
12, 22, 20, number 2 was one that I always liked to get. But then as I started to become just a 3-point assassin, as you know, Hutton, as I grew up playing basketball.
Sharpshooter.
I was like, you know what really makes sense for a number for this guy? Number 3. Because you know what I'm going to be shooting this game? All shots from behind that arc right there. You're not going to see me do anything but a layup or a shot from 3. So I changed my number to number 3, and that worked out for me. But I mean, it's not something that I'm passionate about, right?
My daughter wears number 12. Prince. You were good.
Well,
you know.
The first ever rec league jersey my daughter got issued was number 12. She's been number 12 ever since. Like, she has to have the number 12 because she didn't really care, but that was the first number that she got, and she stuck with that throughout. Numbers are very important to a lot of people, Hutton, especially to Jaden Daniels.
Okay, so he was number 5, and they have now, the LSU has assigned that to a defensive back, right? It doesn't really matter the name.
Yeah, DJ Pickett, who's a sophomore. He was a freshman All-American. He was number 3 his freshman year. Now he's number 5.
So Brian Kelly originally agreed to this, right? And then Kiffin has honored it with number 5. Let's look at it first through the sane approach, the logical approach from Jaden Daniels. All right, not knowing what's going on behind the scenes. From an NIL perspective, after winning a Heisman, the number 5, if LSU sells those jerseys, was he getting a cut of that? And now does it go to the current player if it's number 5 with no name on it? I mean, that's name, image, likeness in its finest example. And they're playing off of the Heisman as number 5, but they're allowing other players to benefit from that. Is that where he's coming from on this, or is it just out of spite?
So, first off, universal L for Jaden Daniels.
Yes.
I don't hear anybody siding with him on this. Like, he looks soft. He looks pretentious. You know, people are having to remind him, dude, you're 24 years old. Like, chill out. You know, your legacy is not completely written yet. stop acting like it has been. So at Tennessee, when they retire a number, like the only numbers that you can't wear are the numbers of players who went to serve in World War II and died. Like those are the retired numbers. Now they can honor a jersey number
Right.
and put it up in the rafters, and they retire your jersey. But because of the numbers in college football, they don't really retire numbers that often,
Right.
where you can't wear them because somebody's going to wear that number at some point because there's so many players on the team, right?
You get a
Now,
statue. You get a statue. You don't get your number retired.
yeah, this whole story, by the way, just makes Brian Kelly look worse at
Yeah.
LSU because it was Brian Kelly. Now, if we're going to believe Lane Kiffin, which I got to believe him in this sense, DJ Pickett was promised number 5 in his recruitment. Okay. Who recruited him? Brian Kelly. Brian Kelly, who coached Jaden Daniels. So when he gets to LSU, part of his NIL deal and everything was, I'm going to wear the number 5. Brian Kelly said, not so fast, my friend. I called Jaden Daniels and he doesn't like that. So you have to wear number 3. And he wore number 3 a year ago. Brian Kelly, by the way, said this to the AP when he was asked about this whole story, that Jaden had a problem with it. So I told him he had to wear a different number. But it was Brian Kelly who promised him. He looks even more phony and like a fraud by doing that, right? By promising a kid something he couldn't deliver on. And then when he got there, just said, oh, well, you're signed. You're not going to wear number 5. Sorry, Jaden doesn't like it. And then Kiffin's response is, the kid was promised that in recruiting. I'm going to give him what's promised. Well, so there was no discussion to be had. Okay. And then he gives him number 5 and Jaden Daniels is mad.
And I want to say this, like Daniels looks awful in all this, right?
Yes.
But I will say there is no way they would ever give out the number 9. They just wouldn't do it. Burrow.
They would give out the number 9?
No, I'm saying they wouldn't.
For Joe Burrow's number, you're saying?
Right. Yeah, they wouldn't give out number 9.
Is there? I don't know. Is there a number 9 on the roster right now? His jersey's not one of the ones listed that's retired right away.
Yeah, I'm saying they could, but I mean, like Tebow's jersey is not technically retired. So the winning a Heisman puts you in a different stratosphere for benefit financially, right? But the way he's gone about this is just he seems just he's off the hinge with this, right? Like just total. He looks very petty. It comes right at the start of camp. It just doesn't look like a leadership position that he's normally been in. It's the opposite. It's a complete 180 of what we've seen from him throughout. And I mean, he's demanded that the Heisman, the replica Heisman that's at LSU, be sent to him, removed from the facility. No mention of his name or anything. Like it's crazy, given the fact that he's one of the Heisman winners for the Tigers.
He also, let's go through his history a little bit here, okay? And I'm not trying to diminish him in anything. His mama is his agent, okay? So let's put that fact out there also. He's got his mother representing him as his agent. So this is the move of a mother, right? This is like the ball field mom who gets mad because their kid got taken out of the game and runs on the field. This is the response. This is the emotional response of a mom, not a sane, logical agent. Like, hey, this school meant a lot to you. You did win a Heisman there. Let's chill out a bit before we send a legal cease and desist to the university about the number 5. Let's see if there's something else we can get done here.
Yeah, I mean, so by the way, JT lets us know on the roster currently there are 2 number 8s, 2 number 10s, 2 number 11s, no number 9 on the LSU roster.
Yeah.
So they jumped it. I just think this is.
I will disagree with you there though. If Lane Kiffin wanted a quarterback bad enough, or someone that had to wear number 9, or he was going to go to Alabama, I bet that he would give them the number 9. I don't think Lane Kiffin's going to defer to Joe Burrow on that. I bet he gives him the number 9.
Even if Burrow said no, would they even ask him?
I think even if Burrow said no, I think the precedent is set now with LSU with how they're going to handle this with Jaden Daniels.
And again, I'm not into the whole number thing. Like it's whatever, but I understand from a profit standpoint what it could mean. I'm assuming that. I'm also thinking it's not like he's handled stuff publicly or been out in the front of the public light with pettiness in the past. This is very odd, and I would think you would try to go behind the scenes with this first, right?
Well, we just got done watching the whole quarterback series.
Then you send the cease and desist. Yeah,
the quarterback series. He was the one that was the most contained, right? The most antiseptic the whole time. He didn't really have an opinion on anything.
Even if it's his mom, even if the mom is involved, she's been quiet too.
Well,
right?
he's
Like,
very protected. I feel like it's very
that's
bubble-like. I
fair.
didn't feel like I saw his real personality at all,
That's fair.
which gives me it's a little Russell Wilson-esque early on in his career with Jaden Daniels and the way his image has been protected. I don't
Yeah,
feel like I know the real guy. Let me also say this, and I know Joe Burrow was a transfer too, but the guy grew up in Southern California and played his first 2 years at Arizona State. He had 2 years at LSU. The second one ended up being the Heisman Trophy year. All due respect to that, he's an LSU legend because he finished at LSU and he won a Heisman Trophy, right? He didn't win a
sure.
national title like Joe Burrow did. There's just different levels of it. He didn't grow up eating gumbo on Lake Pontchartrain. Like I don't
That's
feel like he's an LSU all-time 24-year-old that has the right to come in and say, take my number off that freshman All-American's chest because I did so much for this university.
well, I
Like,
mean,
come on.
Burrow came into. I'm just using that as an example. And in this day and age, that's just
Burrow
kind
won
of what
a
college.
natty also. Like,
That's
that's
what
why
college
LSU fans are
football
going to
is.
respect him more.
And by the way, Burrow went undefeated, won a natty. I get all that. But I mean, this is just this is where we are in college football. We're going to have a lot of one and dones or transfers that are acting like they're from or claiming whatever university. That sucks. But how many
But it
times?
also works both ways. Like, you're right, Hutton. There's going to be a lot of transfer one and dones that do big things, all those things. But then you also can't get mad when your number goes to someone else
That's fair.
at some point. Like,
That's
it's
totally
going
fair.
to happen. Like, we can honor your number in the Hall of Fame and put it up in the stadium or outside on the stadium bricks or whatever. But know that, like, somebody might want to wear number 5 again. And it's going to help
Well,
your alma mater win football games because it's going to be a 5-star talent, which this kid, by the way, DJ Pickett is. He's a 5-star
well,
defensive back for that team. It's not just any Joe Schmo, freshman All American. I think you got to be okay with that too.
well, and think about this. Michael Irvin said this. He wanted his number being worn by CD Lamb at Dallas because it was everyone would see that number and think of Irvin and CD Lamb. No one's looking up at the rafters every play. They're looking at CD Lamb. He's like, absolutely, I want guys wearing 88. I'm cool with that too. I wouldn't hate it. I would like to know the real reason behind this, other than just, oh, I'm number 5 and I won the Heisman. So no, um, it's money involved, right? There's some type of financial issue because he's asking for everything back. Um, the demands from Jaden Daniels are similar to the demands of the media policy that's being enforced at Colorado. What was year one for Dion, where everyone's tuned in and watching, is now no one is allowed to say anything about what they see at practice. Wait until you hear the reason why, where your cell phones are turned in as the media member before you even go to observe practice. Details on that straight ahead here on Sports Stake. It's Hutton Withrow, presented by Hard Rock Bet. The name says it all. Apply in 10 minutes, close in 10 days. It's perfect 10 mortgage. It's the whole idea here. The mortgage that's simple, fast, fair, 10 minutes, start to finish, right from your phone. No stack of paperwork, no sitting across the desk from a banker who talks down to you, Chad.
Yeah, you don't want anybody talking down to you.
No,
We
never.
certainly don't want to talk down to anyone on this show, and they're not going to do that here as well. And checking your options not going to ding your credit score. You're find out where you actually stand before you commit to anything. And if you'd rather talk to a human, like we would like to talk to a human, you can call and you get a real loan officer, not a phone tree. Buying new construction, ask about the builder program, builder funded rate buy downs that can get you a rate the bank can't print. If you're not ready to buy, that's fine too. Date the rate, marry the house, put that on a t-shirt, get
Yeah,
the house you want
that's a
now,
slogan.
refinance when rates come down. Straight talk or what you actually qualify for, built for real people, not paperwork. Perfect10mortgage.com or call them 855-789-1010. That's perfect 10 mortgage, perfect10mortgage.com, and they are an equal housing lender.
Uh, Wonderful phone number there for Perfect 10 Mortgage. Easy to remember, 855-789-1010. And what you said, date the rate?
Date the rate. Hold on, let me get this right again. Date the rate, marry the house.
Wow. That is the slogan for a t-shirt.
It's a perfect slogan for the company, and I had never heard of this before, but apparently it's a real thing, and
Yeah.
I'm excited to know about it now.
Hey, hit us up in the chat where we're live on our YouTube channel at Hutton and Withrow. We hope you'll follow while you're there. Ring the bell so you're alerted every time we go live. Weekdays, 8 to 10 a.m. Eastern, right here at Sport and State and sportandstate.com. We are presented by Hard Rock Bet. Chad, the chat has been active so far. That's great. We love it.
By the way, Brooks in the chat says no one has worn number 9 since Burrow left. That's why Daniels wanted
Okay.
the same treatment. Hey, I will say, like, things are kind of evolving because everyone is universally just dumped on Jaden Daniels for being mad about this. And I
Yep.
feel like 10 years ago, everyone would be crying racism if this happened. That Joe
Yeah, you're
Burrow
right.
doesn't get his number used and Jaden Daniels didn't, and everyone would take Jaden Daniels' sign. So, hey, it's a real evolution in the anti-woke movement. I think that everybody now just hates Jaden Daniels just for being, a selfish prick in this whole thing, and doesn't say, "Oh, well, it's racist." So I think we've come a long way, Hutton. Is what I'm saying.
Isn't
Congrats.
it
Cheers.
isn't it interesting too that everyone all of a sudden is taking the side of LSU and Kiffin? How
Yeah.
quickly we've moved on.
I always hesitate to take Kiffin's side, but you know where I really hesitate to take someone's side? Brian Kelly. And that's the
Yeah,
one in this. I think he
I
looks
totally
the
agree.
worst. I think he was coddling Jaden
He's
Daniels. Like, right. I mean, Joe Burrow went undefeated and won a national title for Ed Orgeron as a head coach.
NO.
Jaden Daniels went 9-3 in his Heisman season. Like, there's a difference between the two players and what
Yes.
they accomplished. But yeah, I don't necessarily want to take Kiffin's side, but it also sounds like a case of Brian Kelly protecting his guy, and
And
then
then
he promised something to another kid, and then he
right.
reneged
Yeah.
on it because his guy didn't want him to do it. Right?
Yeah, I totally agree. Have you seen the media policy at Colorado where they're doubling down on this, where there's been no announcement that they're actually going to loosen up the policy here? So they had some scrimmage or something where the word is out, the theory is out that Dion in Colorado knew that he was going to be served by the Boulder County Sheriff's Department or something due to something involving his son and one of his sons, and they didn't want anybody being able to say anything about it. This happened reportedly happened during practice on this day, but they have set out a media policy that literally there is no reason to go to practice if you cover the team. It allows you no insight whatsoever. You can observe, but you can't do anything with the information. Chad, the email that they sent out explicitly states, when in doubt, if you are uncertain whether something is reportable, the answer is that it is not. They went ahead and said this. So let's go through this. Some of the things are violating these rules could result in immediate pull of the credential. They go into detail here where the restrictions: you can't write about anything, you cannot tweet about anything, you can't scribe or script anything, you can't type anything. Like you can't even have your phone. They also mentioned in the email It's better off just leaving your phone in the car than it is turning it in. It's like you and I going to a Chris Rock show whenever he was making his return at Zany's, or going to like Dave Chappelle at the Ryman, where he turned in the phones, so nobody could do anything social media wise. This is just like you can't even go. There's not an open part of practice. There's no reports on injuries. Nothing. When I say nothing, nothing can be reported based on what you see at practice now. And this was an open practice to fans that was sold out.
Didn't someone also try to take a picture of Dave Chappelle or something and got kicked out
Yeah, someone had their phone and somehow
during
got
the
in
middle
without
of
it.
it?
So it says
Um,
the nothing clause. You cannot discuss anything observed about individual player performance, good or bad, depth chart or rotations, injuries of player participation, trick plays or situational packages. That's kind of normal, right? Like you just don't report certain things, specifics about what they're doing. But beyond that, there's no sketching. They went to the part where you can't even sketch anything. No diagramming. It specifically mentions those words, ensuring that no visual representation of the plays or formations could be recorded on paper. Uh, you can't do any. You can't voice anything to then have it transcribed. They have listed literally any type of communication you could ever think of that is in this media policy now. To the point where there's like, if we forgot anything, the answer is no.
that's the funniest part of it. If you even have a question about whether or not you can
It
use
is. It's
any
amazing.
info to your benefit or to the Colorado fans'
If you
benefit,
are uncertain whether something is reportable, the answer is that it is not.
let me go right ahead and tell you that answer is no. You will not report it. You will not say a word. Hutton, I look at this media policy, and I also watch their female strength coach for the
Yeah,
football team. Morgan Coate is her name.
sure.
If you search Morgan Coate right now on Google, the first thing that pops up is her 52-second address to the team before their
Oh
workout.
gosh.
And with the title that says, and I quote, "This might be the first ever unmotivational speech in football history." It is the most beta, lame thing that
Dude.
I've seen. I see this policy and I see the female strength coach of the football team
Yeah.
leading Colorado, and it leads me to say, and I know that we don't have segments yet with Hard Rock Bet, our presenting sponsor, but I will say when we do, Hutton,
Yeah. Go ahead.
one of my blood bank guarantees will be
Yes.
to hammer Georgia Tech
Oh,
-7 at home against Colorado on the
good idea.
opening Thursday night of college football. We will play this at some point. The
Do
one
they?
video of the female strength coach for the Colorado Buffalo
Oh,
football team speaking to the team will also motivate you to hammer the
I
Rambling
cannot
Wreck
wait.
minus
That's a great
seven.
idea.
This line, I seriously think that one speech could have moved the line 1.5 points towards Georgia Tech if people watched it. It's pathetic.
Wow.
That combined with the media policy, Hutton, I'm hammering Georgia Tech -7 at home against Colorado. What in the world?
So, what they this is the team that won 3 games last year, right? Um,
That is correct. They
and
did.
how quickly things have changed there. The ratings, the storyline for Colorado year one with Dion were the ratings. It was a 4-win team, but they came out of the gates just like perfect. What, they started 4-0, I believe, 3-0, 4-0.
Well, and they were exciting. Remember, they were scoring a ton of
Well,
points. They had like
yes.
double overtime games. They
Yeah.
couldn't stop anybody, but they were
And
fun to watch.
and now that Shador's not there and Shiloh's not there, it's not. It's like everything's closed off and there's no reporting going on. Like um, there's no self promotion. There's no billboard. But the fans there, like this was an open practice. It was with their practice facility, but it sold out. It's not like fans have stopped attending or lost interest there in Boulder. It's just that the national presence has, because they've closed off all the media presence. And here, I think there's another part of it. I'm sure it has something to do with whatever subpoena or whatever was happening, because apparently Colorado security eventually intercepted it and like sent it to communications department. Um, but it also has something to do with Deion Sanders Jr., who we've had on our past show, and he handles all the media and video. So I'm thinking on that, we're going to see video and promotion. It's just going to come through the Sanders brand.
Hutton, I also look at Deion Sanders and I think he's really lasted 2 more seasons than I thought he would at Colorado, because I
Yeah,
thought he would bolt to another job NFL opportunity or just stop coaching once his sons were no longer with the program. But he's coached one full year, which was a bad one, without his kids. And now he's going into year 2, which I'm going to go ahead and predict is probably going to be another bad one for Colorado. But that's 2 more seasons than I thought he would even be at that school.
I totally agree with you, man. I'm going to pull up their schedule briefly and just see what we're looking at here because, even bad teams will compete against Colorado here.
Yeah, we know Georgia Tech on the road, I think, is to open the season. They hosted Georgia Tech a season ago to start the year.
JT, if you
for
can,
Colorado.
look up the over-under for Colorado wins total. We'll mention that too because we'll take the under. Okay, Georgia Tech, Weber State is their first home game.
Win. That's a W.
They then go to Northwestern. Is Northwestern opening their stadium this year?
Yes.
Okay, they go to Northwestern September 19th. They then visit Baylor. So they've got back-to-back road games against Northwestern and Baylor. They
could split those possibly, those possibly. 2 road games. I could see them winning one of the 2.
They did host Texas Tech and host Utah.
Loss.
Yes. They did visit Oklahoma State, host Kansas State, visit Arizona State, host Houston. I mean, this is loss. They then visit Cincinnati and then host UCF. That's the gauntlet schedule for Colorado that once was apparently everyone took the over and took the points that Colorado was getting even as underdog. Now I'm laying them.
Well, even the games that I would just at first glance say
under 4.5 under.
I'd have to hear it again because I think Weber State is for sure. Yeah, I would go under on it too because even the games you would mark down as a win, like Oklahoma State, who's been terrible the last few years under Gundy, but now they've got Eric Morris coming over from North Texas.
That's right.
So he brought his quarterback with him.
His quarterback
from North Texas. So they could be good. They could be a surprise in the Big 12.
To be better.
That's probably another loss for Colorado. Yeah, I'm going under 4.5, and I'm definitely going over Georgia Tech whipping them by more than 7 points on Thursday night to open the season.
I miss prime time being the cowboy hat and all that. I'm sure he's still doing that some, but I that was fun. And the great idea he's had recently, the best idea is the spring game head-to-head matchup. I wish they would do that because they were trying to do that with Syracuse. I don't know where that went, but they tabled it for a year. I thought it would happen. They haven't brought it back up, unfortunately. That's the one good idea I've heard from him in the last 12 to 15 months from Deion, which is unusual.
And we brought up the quarterback from North Texas going with Eric Morris to Oklahoma State. We should bring up Brooks Carter brings us up in the chat. By the way, hit us up in the chat on YouTube. We're going to be very interactive with anybody watching in the chat. He says Colorado does have a 5-star quarterback, Julian Juju Lewis, which we should keep in mind. He's going to be their starter. He is a former 5-star. We've seen Colorado with really good quarterbacks that produced statistically, and they still didn't win a ton of games. Is he going to be any different? I don't know. I just think early returns, Hutt, when you look at the media policy, how closed off everything is. I look at the female strength coach giving the unmotivational speech to the team, and I'm just not feeling good about the Buffs in 2026.
Hey, let's mention they capitalizing on Deion and then capitalizing on a Heisman Trophy winner in Hunter. They haven't done it. Have not done it. We're excited.
What a wild Heisman Trophy. Like when you look back at the history of Heisman trophies, even crazier than Charles Woodson, which is the all-time robbery job of Heisman trophies history with Peyton Manning not winning that year. Not that Travis Hunter took it from anyone specifically that year, but when we look back in the history of college football, because I think Deion will probably be done after this year, we're going to look back and say, Deion Sanders coached Travis Hunter, a two-way player, to a Heisman Trophy at Colorado. It's going to feel weird 20 years from now.
Yeah, he does love coaching, though, Deion. I believe him on that. I do. Coming up, top 25 across college football and much more. It is Hutton Withrow at Sport and State at sportandstate.com. It's Hutton Withrow here at Sport and State. Chad, accidents, they don't wait for a good time. One bad moment, a wreck, a fall, a doctor who wasn't paying attention. Suddenly you're fighting an insurance company that does this every single day. And that's why Clay started Clay Travis Law. We're debuting Sport and State. You can check out claytravislaw.com as well. He's a Vanderbilt law grad. He built a firm around one idea. People deserve someone who is actually going to pay attention to you, is going to ask hard questions, push back when things just don't add up or line up. And experienced trial attorneys are going to bring the fight to corporations and insurers. Based in Nashville, right here in the great state of Tennessee, and trusted across this great country.
And car and truck wrecks, rideshare accidents, medical malpractice, premises liability, product liability. If you were wronged, they want to hear about it. And here's what they promise: honesty. Really simple. They don't sugarcoat your case. You'll hear what it's actually worth, not what you want to hear. The case evaluation is free, no charge, no pressure, no hassle. Just tell them your story. That's simple. Go to claytravislaw.com or call 877-222-4444. That's claytravislaw.com. No case is too big or too small.
Chad, we are presented by Hard Rock Bet, and we love our great sponsors, Perfect 10 Mortgage, Clay Travis Law, Crockett Coffee, and XXXY. If you're wondering about that, Clay has all four of those, and he wrote about it today at sportandstate.com. The new media platform is debuting today, day one, building from the ground. He started from zero for his YouTube channel, and I don't know where he's at now, but I'm sure he's climbing because apparently his Twitter, his X feed, it just malfunctioned. It died this morning.
You were there, Hutton, and the launch of Outkick, where he overloaded the site immediately, where it crashed. They weren't ready for as much traffic as they got.
You're right.
His Twitter feed crashed today when they went live with the announcement of the show. I'm seeing stories out now about the media company, Barrett Sports Media, has jumped in. Others are jumping in and writing about it as well. So word is starting to spread, and we're just excited to be a part of building this thing.
Yes.
Right. I mean, everybody's expectations are where they are because this is the beginning of something new, and we are thrilled to be on board with Clay and what he's doing. I thought he laid it out very well in his show early this morning. You can go to sportandstate.com right now. He's got an entry column about entry into the new company, intro to what we're going to be doing at Sport and State. Very exciting stuff, Hutton.
Hey,
and I'm pumped to be on board.
And he's straightforward with this. This is not your typical column where it's like, hey, this is the business plan. This is this is well thought out. As you would expect. Clay loves writing. He told me once he tries to write something every single day, even vacation. And that's commendable. But it's also what he does very, very well. And if you want to know about the business plan, what he's doing, why he's doing something different with Sport and State than what other media companies are currently doing, go check it out right now at sportandstate.com. We're going to have a lot of we got great writers that are going to be a part of this. We've got great editors as well. I'm excited for what's ahead as we get things rocking and rolling on day one.
Well, and Clay, you mentioned the writing. That's the one thing that I see people got really pissed off about at the end with Outkick when he stopped writing. For the site, his mailbag column went away. His college football column for years.
Yeah.
Even before I knew Clay, when he just started out, that college football column each week, his observations from a Saturday have been one of my required readings every single week. That's going to come back to Sport and State. He's going to be writing a lot more for the website. So sportandstate.com will have you covered. And then with all the shows that are being built out that are going to be here daily, I mean, there's going to be no shortage of content for anyone out there looking to get their fix. So, and again, thank you to everyone who's with us on day one. I see the YouTube live numbers going up and up each segment. We are grateful for you. We appreciate you. Tell your friends, subscribe to that YouTube page, ring that bell so you get a notification every morning. And speaking of every morning, that's going to be us every morning. Every morning I'm going to be sitting here just completely mainlining my Crockett coffee.
I love it.
And we're going to be ready to go, Hutton, for 2 hours,
hey,
8 to 10 a.m. Eastern time.
I'm glad you mentioned the YouTube chat because this is how we can identify day one season ticket holders. That's how we refer to our listeners in the past. Now we've got everyone on the YouTube channel. If you haven't subscribed already, do so please, and hit the thumbs up. That let us know you're here. Hit us up in the chat as well. Day one archive with us at Hutton Withrow, and you can do that across the board throughout the Sport and State lineup coming up live each and every weekday. Clay mentioned this a bit earlier this morning in the announcement. He brought up the top 25 rankings and where Alabama is at 13. I agree with him. It's jarring because it's the first time in 18 years that they are ranked outside of the top 10 to begin a season. I also looked at Indiana at 6. Why are we, as a collective voting group of media, which you and I don't vote for the AP top 25, but as a representation of the media thought process, why is everyone doubting Indiana? They have a chance to be even better than they were, given the defensive front that they have. And they are going to be excellent. And I'm not doubting exactly what they were last year. They're carrying that over, Chad. I don't know why they're at 6. That's far too down the rankings to begin a season for the defending champs.
Why are we tempting fate with Curt Cignetti?
There you go.
People? I mean, that guy doesn't need added motivation. But to put him at 6th preseason is going to give him all the motivation he needs. He was asked at Big Ten Media Day, what's it going to be like being the hunted now when everyone is gunning for you as the defending national champion?
What did he say?
He joked and said, well, I went out and bought a bigger gun is what I did. And that's what he's got now in Josh Hoover as his quarterback coming over from TCU. Yeah, I think Indiana's underranked. I think Alabama's going to be good this year. And I watched Clay's show, and he's right. And this is what got people really stirred up on our ranking of college football or SEC programs.
Right. Yes.
That we had Alabama so high. I don't think Alabama has the money of some other programs. I don't think Alabama's spending what Tennessee spends, quite frankly, on a roster. I don't think they're going to spend what LSU is going to spend, or Texas A&M, or Texas, or Georgia. They're further down the list now in what they're spending, Hutton. So I understand that they may continue to fall.
They're outside the top 12 for most expensive rosters. Alabama, Texas Tech, and Indiana for the upcoming season are outside of the top 12 teams for most expensive rosters, which is surprising given what they've done recently and what Texas Tech has done recently in spending.
None of this is official, by the way. Like, I know what you're citing and what people think the rosters are.
That's fair.
There's also an article that, and I believe it, I think it's pretty close to accurate, what you're saying, by the way. There are 8 programs that spend $40+ million on a roster, okay? Tennessee's one of them. LSU's one of them. Texas A&M. I mean, Ohio State, Michigan. You can go down the list of usual suspects. I think Tennessee would surprise some.
I agree.
For being in that top 8 of $40+ million spenders, but they're spending top money.
Ole Miss.
I don't think Alabama is in that race anymore. And look, I'll say what Clay didn't say on the show earlier. And, all apologies to our Next Round Live friends who are going to completely refute this, but Alabama was better at paying people than everybody else too. Like, I'm not going to deny that. Yes, Nick Saban was a great coach, and that was the ultimate trump card over everyone else in the SEC. And I'm not claiming that other SEC programs didn't pay, but I do think in an era where the payments were under the table and not over the table, Alabama had an inherent advantage for years and years and years, and it continued under Nick Saban. And now that advantage is taken away. They're still going to be a good football program. They still have all the history. They still have money, maybe not as much as some others.
Yeah.
But that advantage did go away. And I buy that with the whole argument about, what is the Big Ten and how did they make up ground? And it's pretty simple to me. They got more alumni. They got more money at some of these schools. And it did even the playing field with the SEC when they started spending more than SEC programs. So I buy that.
But Alabama's sitting next to Indiana. Indiana has done something that will leave every fan base pissed off for greatness, which is they're outside of the top 12 as well in spending. And they're winning natties. They're kicking Alabama's ass is what they're doing.
They're also the masters at spending smart.
That you're right.
I mean, they are bringing in the right guys, right? Like Vandy's to me is the comp in the SEC. When they got really good a year ago, it wasn't just they're not going to go overspend or beat everyone head to head for a transfer, but they went out and got these 23-year-old
the right players. You're right.
The right player for their system. And Indiana is the model. It's not Vandy. Indiana is the model for that, of how to get good quick, of going and getting the right players. And I also think they're spending, last year's roster, they were spending as much as anybody to win the national title. I think they're going to get back up in the top 10 pretty quickly, even if they're not this year in spending. But spending with the right money is also very key. And you just got to hit it at some point. There is some luck involved with guessing on the right guy, betting on the right players, having some injury fortune, right? I look at
That's
Alabama as certainly a possible playoff team, but a team that could surprise. But to do that, that's the same goes for any team. You got to have some luck involved.
yeah, but I mean, think about this too, man. Like, it's also about fit for the coaches, right? Those top teams that we're talking about, they fit the culture. DeBoer is just it was always kind of a strange fit to begin with. We know he wasn't the first choice in Tuscaloosa. How many coaches were reported? At least three, I believe, that were at least back channeled to see if they had interest in the job. Um, I look at it as like it's what the over under you told me was what 8.5 wins this year for Alabama.
I think it's 8.5. Yeah,
Think
because
about that.
yes, yeah.
That's unbelievable to me that Alabama's going. Those are expectations, and they're beginning at 13. But hey, and this should also be mentioned. The AP Top 25 preseason poll, like half of the top 25 last year missed. They didn't finish top 25 at the end of the season from the preseason. Penn
Yeah.
State being one of them, of course. Tennessee, one of them. There are examples every year of why this poll doesn't matter. It's certainly not perfect, far from it, and it's a lot of groupthink because it's not like
Yeah.
these
And
voters see these teams on a daily basis or know from across the country exactly what's going on through the portal and everything else. It's tough to keep up with, especially on game day where these voters are paid to do a coverage of a team. So while other teams are playing, they're covering their team for their job, and their votes are due by like noon on Sunday. It's impossible to actually have an accurate vote.
I think Bama at 13 is no big slight, to Alabama. Catfish Jake brings up a good point. Bama at 13 is fine, but seeing them seventh in the SEC of teams in the top 25 AP, let's get into that for a second because I saw
Sure.
Heather Dinich just lose her mind that Tennessee is ranked 20th in the preseason poll.
I think that's
I
about
mean,
right.
that was the one response when she was on Pat McAfee was Tennessee 20? How
I
is
mean,
Tennessee ranked in the top 25? Well, who is putting them at 20? They got to find a quarterback at Tennessee. I think when you're reacting that way, you're not seeing the whole roster
that's right.
for Tennessee and realizing, oh, well, they also have two five-star quarterbacks
And a new
that are
defensive
younger
coordinator.
guys they're picking between. Yes, they're unsettled there, so I can understand maybe they're a little bit overrated at 20. Now, and I polled the YouTube chat with us also. Is the SEC overrated in the top 25? Okay. When you are projecting a top 25, to me, you were saying, I think these are the top 25 teams from a talent, coaching, everything standpoint in the country. Hutton, I don't believe, and there could be different trains of thought here. I don't think that you are projecting this will be the final ranking of the season. You were ranking teams 1 through 25 based on preseason expectation of how good and talented these teams will be. I don't think you're projecting to the end of the year based off of strength of schedule. And this
What?
is where
That's
Big
right.
Ten people get their panties in a bunch because, oh, yeah, because it's so tough in the SEC and you're going to have to run this gauntlet and that's how they're going to fall out. And it's true, though. Like these schedules are tougher in the SEC. Penn State's a great example. Nobody in the SEC has a schedule as weak as Penn State's. No one. Go look at every single one. I can comp all of them for you. And I'm telling you, Penn State has by far the weakest schedule of any SEC team. That means Penn State, who may not be as talented going into the season as some SEC teams, may end up ranked ahead of them because those SEC teams will play a tougher schedule. I think that's what people need to keep in mind.
Well said. Well said. And also, like you just the heart of the middle of the conference far better than what we're seeing in the Big Ten. The top of the Big Ten superior right now
Yep.
with the championships.
I'd agree. Yeah.
Hey, coming up, we have a definitive list, the depth chart for the best current head coaches across college football. Straight ahead. Here's Sport and State. This is Hutton Withrow. Welcome to sportandstates.com, Clay Travis's new media platform. We are thrilled to be a part of it. This is Hutton Withrow, presented by Hard Rock Bet. Chad, it is time to debut the depth chart, the definitive list. We're going to have some fun with this, sports, non-sports, throughout the coming weeks, months, years here at Sport and State. But we kick things off. The depth chart of the top 10 college football coaches currently coaching across the great sport. And, well, sorry if you disagree, because we're going to be right on this.
Yeah, Hutton, there's look, these are the definitive rankings. This is how we view them. Like, everybody can have an opinion, but only one person can write it in the stone
That's right.
tablet, and that person is God. And God on this show is the combined duo of you and me. So we will etch it in stone with what the rankings are going to be.
Hey, and this is presented by Crockett Coffee. Crockett Coffee, started by Clay Travis, Buck Sexton, Buck's brother Mason, named after the great American, Davy Crockett. He's a hunter, a storyteller, a patriot, a backwoods legend. I loved the movie growing up, the Disney movie. He was, he killed him a bar, as you reminded me of how he said bear.
Yes.
You look at the logo. You got Davy surfing on the backs of crocodiles. That tells you everything you need to know about the attitude here with Crockett Coffee. 100% pure Arabica. You've got high altitude beans, small batch roasted right here in America. Again, right here in America, Tennessee, the heart of the country. And it ships fresh roasted, not sitting in a warehouse shelf somewhere for 6 months and beyond. It's light, medium, dark, decaf, organic, even mushroom blend, which Chad is not a fan of. I would try that, but I'm more of a medium roast if I'm going coffee. Whole bean, ground, you got K-cups, whatever you need. You make it in the morning. Crockett's got you. Crockett Coffee.
Different strokes for different folks, Hutton. There's plenty of people that I know that love mushroom. Maybe you'll love the mushroom blend. Mushroom blend, not for me. It could be for everyone else out there. But they make it easy because you can set up a subscription. You can get all the mushroom blend you want or not, because it's all going to show up on your schedule. Change it, cancel it anytime you want, as the free market intended. Free shipping on orders of $59 or more, and there's a discount for veterans. Crockett partners with Tunnels to Towers, building mortgage-free homes for the families of fallen service members and for catastrophically injured veterans and first responders. Good coffee, made in America, doing some good. CrockettCoffee.com. That's Crockett, Crockett, coffee.com. There's the logo. I'm sipping it right now, and guess what?
Which blend do you have?
Tastes like America. Tastes like America.
It tastes very good. Hey,
glorious.
Coonskin Caps, will we see a volunteer coach on the top 10? Chad, kick us off with the depth chart of the top 10 college football coaches currently employed.
So, number 10, Hutton, I think is the most controversial entry into our list.
Okay.
Because you could certainly make an argument for many others based on one glaring mistake this coach made a couple seasons ago that I just cannot seem to get over. And it's the one possible regret that I have in our top 10 ranking. But as we said, these are the definitive rankings, so we're going to roll with it.
We're rolling.
Mario Cristobal at Miami. Number 10, best college football coaches currently in America. 688 winning percentage, won almost 69% of his games, one playoff appearance. That one playoff appearance a year ago led to them making it all the way to the national championship game. I got Cristobal at number 10. Who's number 9?
I think this guy could be higher, I will say, but Steve Sarkisian comes in at number 9 for us, Chad, Texas. He's an elite play caller. He can recruit with the best of them. He has Texas as the SEC champ. He is going into the college football playoff. He has Manning at quarterback. Steve Sarkisian at number 9. Do you agree?
I disagree that he should be higher. Why? Because he's only won 63% of his games.
Okay.
Now, let me also say this disclaimer. I removed Florida International from Mario Cristobal's winning percentage, where he was terrible. Everybody's terrible at FIU. So I've removed that portion of it. I didn't remove anything from Sark. Now, Sark was at Washington. To me, Washington is a bit different than FIU, so I didn't remove any part of his overall winning percentage, but 63% of his games, one playoff appearance, that's it for Steve Sarkisian. I think he's vastly overrated in most of these polls you're going to see. That's why the Hutton and Withrow show is the definitive ranking of college football coaches. And that's why, Hutton, brace yourselves, Longhorn fans, Mike Elko's ahead of Steve Sarkisian. on our list. Mike Elko
Wow.
at number 8. Mike Elko has won almost 69% of his games as a head coach. Now, he's had a shorter career than Sarkisian at Duke and Texas A&M. He's got the one playoff appearance. Wasn't a great appearance, but they got to the playoff a year ago at A&M. Give me Mike Elko over Steve Sarkisian. He comes in at number 8.
Number 7, one of my favorite coaches currently, Kyle Whittingham. You've got at Michigan. They fell forward. You know, when they fall down, they fall forward. They did here with this coaching hire. The he is the floor. He raises the floor. He's the floor raiser for a program, and he is consistent as they come. Unmatched, I think, when it comes to consistency, toughness with his teams. He's known for battling in the trenches year in and year out. You know what you're getting on the high stage that he did at Utah. Now he's taking that to Michigan. They got a hell of a coach.
They do. I do love too that he had to like go back on what he said about not having to hate your opponent to be able to want to beat them badly about
Yeah.
Ohio State. He said, "Let me correct something I said because Michigan people got so mad, which is just funny and ridiculous at the same time, and it's why we absolutely love college football so much." Number 6, Hutton, Lane Train, Lane Kiffin.
Okay.
The man has won 68.6% of his games, and he was once the coach at Florida Atlantic. Speaking of me removing the FIU trip for Cristobal, I didn't do that for Lane Kiffin. You know why? Because he's really good at Florida
Well,
Atlantic. He's been really good everywhere he's been. Tennessee, FAU, Ole Miss, now starting at LSU. Lane Kiffin, number 6.
look, you know I'm aboard the lane train, but man, he's mastered the transfer portal. He's very consistent with his quarterback development. And Chad, I would even say when he has a starter banged up, coming off the bench, his quarterbacks are ready to go. Like the communication is perfect. He's one of the best when it comes to that. I think he's rightfully ranked where he should be here. Number 5, Marcus Freeman at Notre Dame. He has brought Notre Dame forward in recruiting. The fact that he follows Brian Kelly is fantastic for him. I'm surprised personally. We haven't seen him in the NFL. I felt like the Chicago Bears opening when it happened was one for him. But look, he's Irish, and he's annually going to be in the playoff picture just based on where he is in coaching Notre Dame.
So I was shocked to see his overall winning percentage, 78%. I mean, 78% of the games he's won at Notre Dame. Compare that with, again, Steve Sarkisian, a guy I think is annually overrated, 63% winning percentage. That's 6 years. I mean, he's not a newbie to this.
That's
He
right.
has the national championship game appearance. Yeah,
Well,
I
hey,
think Marcus Freeman.
go ahead.
I mean,
Sorry,
yeah,
I was going to say that. Remember the schedule though we were all complaining about.
yeah, that's true. They can't set their schedule better than anyone else at Notre Dame. But yeah, 78%, one national championship game appearance. You could argue Marcus Freeman underrated, but I think we got him right where he needs to be. Why? Because number 4 on the list, a guy we love, Dan Lanning.
Dan the
Dan
man.
Lanning, Dan Lanning Hutton has won 86% of his games
Wow.
in 5 years. Marcus Freeman, 78%. Dan Lanning, 86%. Steve Sarkisian, 63% of the games. And he is going into year 6 at Oregon. He's got the one playoff appearance. That's the one knock against him, but done a fantastic job. And he is in line to me. We're talking about a lot of former Nick Saban assistants on this
Yes.
list, and we'll get to exactly how many later. He's sort of the next in line to take the reins as the guy, possibly in college football. That's why we got him at number 4.
He's the next on the list, but he was behind Ryan Day, right, on the title guys who need to win a title. And I would also say, this was a guy that immediately Alabama picked up the phone and called. Going back to our discussion, and he recruits like an SEC program at Oregon, and he's a powerhouse in the Big Ten. I'm with you there. Speaking of Ryan Day, number 3 for us. I don't know what's his winning percentage, Chad. Is it 90% or lower?
Brian Day, Hutton, is second on the list with overall winning percentage,
Okay.
even though he's number 3 on our list of top coaches. 87.2%
Wow.
of his
Okay.
games he's won at Ohio
Immense
State.
pressure. He's under immense pressure, and he delivered after losing to Michigan. Goes on to win the national title. He did it well, even though he was taking shots at Lou Holtz, Coach Lou. We saw Ryan Day at his best, and no one recruits better. I mean, they snag the top guys when they lose out on a 5-star. Everyone's surprised. He's done a nice job. He's done it under a lot of pressure.
Yeah, he really has. I mean, it's he's so consistent. He's definitely underappreciated. We'll always take our guy Lou Holtz, RIP,
Chad,
former guest of our show, over Ryan Day in any dispute. But Ryan Day has done a really good job. Ryan Day, the one knock on him is the Michigan thing that it got into his head.
yes, it
And
did.
now I see where he's moving senior day to the first game of the year and away from the Michigan game to remove any distractions from that game because he thinks that's been a distraction in the past, having senior day festivities before the game. So we'll see if that works out for Ryan Day, who did beat Michigan last year. But yeah, Ryan Day, number 3 on the list. Number 2,
Hey,
Hutton.
real quick,
Yeah,
fact on Ryan Day. Fun fact: Vrabel, when he took the Titans job, Ryan Day was going to be the offensive coordinator. And the fact that he ended up being the coach in waiting and did that, that ended up solidifying Matt LaFleur as the offensive coordinator because he had interviewed and did get the job over Vrabel.
that would have been something. That would have changed the course of not just the Titans organization, possibly, but also Ohio State
He
and
would have
whoever
been
that
the
hire would have
NFL
been after
coordinator. He would
that.
be a head coach in the NFL right now.
Yeah, no doubt. Um, really, there's a debate: who's one, who's two, on these
So
top
we know
three.
who's left. That's right. Here we go. Let's rock and roll with
There's a
this one.
top two. There's a clear delineation of the top two to me. Ryan Day, you can throw in there all you want. There's two top guys that
Yep.
if I am a free agent, athletic director, general manager for a college football program, I'm calling up one of these two guys, number 1 and number 2. Number 2 on our list, the definitive ranking, the depth chart, Kurt Cignetti, Indiana. 88% of his games he has won between James Madison and Indiana. 2 playoff appearances in 2 years at Indiana. Let me restate that.
Go ahead.
2 playoffs in 2 years at Indiana. Not NCAA tournaments in basketball, college football playoffs. Remarkable. Sig, number 2 on the list.
Kirby Smart's number one. It's the gold standard for college football coaches right now. How is he not, based on what he's done and what he continues to do at Georgia? There is a SEC dominance. Georgia's always there, right? If they fall back, they're falling back where they're neck and neck with a team, not behind a team going into a season. A tremendous job, and there's a standard there with the players they bring in. Off the field, they love drag racing and doing things in the streets and getting tickets and fines and arrests. On the field, they put up points and they have great defenses. There's no way I could pick anyone but Kirby Smart for number one.
And really, I mean, Indiana's getting there with Cignetti, but to me, there's only 2 programs on this list with the if you ain't first, you're last mentality,
Yeah,
and that's Georgia and Ohio State. That every year feels like a referendum on their program if they don't win the national title. That's how great those coaches are and what they've done. Indiana's getting there based on what Cignetti is doing. But yeah, Kirby Smart, number 1, and the 2 natties, gives him the edge over Kurt Cignetti. So Kirby Smart, number 1. Hutton, can we go through the near missed
we
of the
must
top
because
10?
there's some big names we left off on purpose.
Yeah, well, let's start with the biggest, Dabo Swinney. Dabo Swinney has been a coach for 19 years at Clemson. He's won 78% of his games at Clemson.
I
Okay, keep in mind the guy who I think is eternally overrated, Steve Sarkisian, 63% of his games, 77%, almost 78 for Dabo Swinney. 19 years, 2 national championships. I think you could argue we're crazy for leaving him out of the top 10 based on him and Kirby Smart are the only 2 guys currently coaching that have won multiple national titles. I also think we'd be crazy to include him on this list, given that Clemson is not even in the top 25 preseason this year. This looks like a Clemson program of the first 3 years. He was the head coach right now. It's really started to fall apart, Hutton, for Dabo.
Chad, this is the best current coaches. These are the coaches who have adapted, that have embraced
Yep.
NIL, that have gone with the tide. And this is a coach. If we were talking about the past coaches, Dabo's number 2 on the list, right, behind Saban. But we're not. I don't believe in Clemson. I used to. I picked Clemson last year, 2 years ago, as my national champ. I won't be doing that. I won't be doing that. I don't buy them, and neither do the voters. Or I mean, win the ACC. How about that?
And here's another guy that I think we put on the just outside the list that could be in the top
Who
10
we got?
that to me falls in the category of he's been so consistent with what he does. He's probably underappreciated and we don't really look at him that much. He also doesn't really say a lot with the media, so we don't look at him a lot. It's Josh Heupel. Josh Heupel's won 73% of his games as a college football coach. Hutton, that is better than Kyle Whittingham, than Mike Elko, than Steve Sarkisian, than Mario Cristobal, and then Lane Kiffin. He's better than 5 of the coaches on our list between UCF and Tennessee. That's as a head coach for Josh Heupel. 9 years, too. Like, he's no spring
Right.
chicken. He's been around for a while. Josh Heupel just missed the list. Matt Campbell's another one as we roll through them quickly.
It's a great one.
605 winning percentage. He was at Iowa State. I mean, come on. That's remarkable at Iowa State, given they're one of the worst college football programs in the country. Here's the outside the box one, Hutton, that I wanted to throw in to you. Dan Mullen.
Oh.
Dan Mullen's won 64% of his games. And if we're going to say Matt Campbell's won 60% and he was at Iowa State, keep in mind, Dan Mullen has done that most of the time at Mississippi State.
And they went
the
number
doormat
1
of the SEC.
Yep.
And when you look back at his time on Florida, they shouldn't have fired him based on his winning percentage there. They got carried away with one bad season and some weird recruiting stuff. Dan Mullen, to me, deserves discussion to be in the top 10 current college football coaches. And guess what he did at UNLV in year 1? He won 10 games. Year 1 at UNLV. They're going to be really good again this year. Dan Mullen deserves some discussion for top 10.
We didn't put DeBoer on there either.
Nope.
And,
that's the other one that I've got listed as a possibility.
2 years ago, we would have.
We'll let Next Round Live talk about DeBoer and put
Next
him
Round Live, by the way, a part of Sport and State.
Yeah.
Coming up later this month. We're looking forward to that.
They'll have him top 5, Hutton. Don't worry on that show. They'll be good to go.
Coming up, the top picks at quarterback in the NFL draft. Great debuts for 3. And one will surprise you, I think. At least one, maybe 2 for the quarterback play in the preseason. And then there's a second-year quarterback. Well, the struggle is real, and it's happening right here in Nashville. That's straight ahead here on Sport and State and Hutton Withrow. Let's tell you about the great brand XXXY Athletics, founded by Jennifer Say, former national champion gymnast, former Levi's brand president. She walked away from those corporate jobs rather than say something that she didn't believe. And she started XXXY Athletics, and she did that over the corporate jobs. The mission, in their words, is empower female athletes and take a stand for fair competition. They call it the T that launched a movement, and it certainly did. This is real athletic apparel, not just a slogan on a shirt. Performance tops, tanks, sports bras, leggings, shorts, training sets, men's and women's, plus hoodies, hats, and their graphic tees. And the only place you can get the new NBA, WNBA franchise, Clay Travis's owned Nashville Balls, Chad.
That's right, Hutton, and it's worn by athletes who've actually put something on the line. And this is the crew making the official Nashville Balls gear.
That's right.
I mean, come on. Clay
Gotta have one.
Travis's WNBA franchise. Let's make this happen, please. XXXY is the official apparel provider for Nashville Balls merch, tees, trucker hats out now. If you want the shirt, that's where you get it. And new customers get 20% off your first order when you sign up, and free shipping over $100. XXXYathletics.com. That's XX-XY athletics.com.
Chad, every time I say Nashville Balls, I think of when Clay went on CNN with Brooke Baldwin and said he believes in two things outright: the First Amendment and boobs. And she had him spell it. She was like, "Are you saying booze or boobs?" And he was like, "BOOBS, boobs." When I hear Nashville Balls, I think some people may think Vols, VOLS, and I hear they have to spell it BALLS. It's what the WNBA allows currently in their league in the WNBA draft coming up.
And I've got a Nashville Sounds portrait up behind me right now. I've got some different things I'm going to be rotating in behind me on the wall here. One thing I'd love to rotate in at some point is a Nashville Balls portrait like this that's documenting the inaugural game of the Nashville Balls, where the Nashville Balls beat the Seattle Storm 87-28 in that game because Enes Kanter's dunking all over everyone. I mean, a boy can dream. You know, a boy can dream. Or the Atlanta dream. Speaking of the dream,
or they're eighth graders. Maybe the Nashville Balls are just straight eighth graders. That's the new bet. Clay announced it this morning. $10 million on the line. He's serious about this. He said, "Hey, zoom in. Make sure we clip this. I'm being serious." The Las Vegas Aces, $10 million on the line. The champions from the WNBA taking on the Nashville Balls, or the eighth grade team. He's now gone to eighth grade, not just the best high school team. And Chad did the numbers earlier. These are guys that are like they're 6, 7, eighth graders right now playing middle school ball.
We're trying to get Rajon Rondo's kid paid. Pierre Rondo, the eighth grade stud, third ranked class of 2030. I love that this morning in researching the show, I'm looking up class of 2030 basketball talent and seeing the top 15 to see who would play on this team. And sure enough, Pierre Rondo, Rajon's kid, could be a stud on this team.
Chad, for those just joining us, welcome to Sport and State and Hutton Withrow. If you missed it, if you're like, they ranked our coach where? Chad, run down the depth chart for the definitive top 10 college football coaches right now across America.
We will do this at least once a week, possibly twice a week. The depth chart will be the Hutton Withrow Show's definitive rankings of something. Could be anything. We thought it fitting that the very first depth chart would be current college football coaches coaching right now in 2026.
Yep.
The depth chart, college football coaches in 2026. Number 10, Mario Cristobal at Miami. Number 9, Sark. I think that he's usually overrated. We've got him rated properly at number 9. Mike Elko of A&M at number 8. Kyle Whittingham at 7. Lane Kiffin, we'll see how he does at LSU, at number 6. Marcus Freeman comes in at number 5. Dan Lanning at Oregon at number 4. Ryan Day and his consistency, number 3. Number 2, Sig himself, Kurt Signetti. And number 1, nobody's beaten Kirby Smart in the 2 national titles, except possibly Dabo Swinney, who has also won 2 national titles, but is not in our top 10. That is our first ever depth chart, definitive rankings of college football coaches.
Must adapt. That's what we said. And,
adapt or die.
That's right.
Adapt or die. Just watch Moneyball again. I'm quoting that movie left and right. But as Brad Pitt says, adapt or die.
Hey, that's what we're going to have to see from Cam Ward here in Nashville. He's going to have to adapt to the NFL style of the game. He's he's being coached by Brian Dable. His debut not good, but there were three rookies that looked good in their first preseason performance for their teams, respective teams. Fernando Mendoza, number one pick. He looked poised in the pocket for what it's worth. Look, I'm not trying to overreact here, but there are certain things where your first live action and things don't seem to be sped up all that much, right? He finished with 10 of 16 passing, had a touchdown pass, 100 yards passing. There was command at the line of scrimmage. Liked what I saw there. Ty Simpson, maybe a bit of surprise here. He gave some energy to what he was doing. 21 of 25. He played quite often. 190 yards passing. Had two touchdowns. And of course, everyone's thinking, oh, Sean McVay's got another one, right? He's going to be able to develop behind Matthew Stafford. And Drew Aller, surprised to say the least here. He stole the show. Two passing touchdowns for the Steelers. He had a rushing touchdown as well. Where was this guy at Penn State? His best performance at Penn State was his first game that he played and started. His first game here in his preseason debut, very good. He's going to be behind Aaron Rodgers. And look, you've got McCarthy. He's going to be able to coach him up some.
Yeah, the Drew Aller thing was wild. Like, you're right. That's the guy that everyone wanted to see at Penn State. If you're a Nittany Lions fan the whole time, and you got to see him in a preseason game for the first time. I mean, Ty Simpson was the one who just blew me away in that game. Like, he looked like his understanding. It feels like that moment when like everything clicks in at once.
Yeah.
And you realize what's going on. Like, I think it took the third time that I watched Inception for me to realize which dream they were in and what was happening. And that moment when your mind connects and you realize, oh, so Leo was dreaming and this is his family that he lost. And oh, okay, that's what was going on. That's what I felt like watching Ty Simpson. We saw glimpses of it at Alabama. We didn't see the full package, but there were games where he was terrific. And I'm thinking, oh, coach's kid, dad's a college football coach. He gets the game at a different level than everyone else. That's the way I felt Hutton watching him play for Sean McVay in one game, one preseason game. On the flip side of that, we're seeing these rookies look this good, and Cam Ward looked just like he did in his rookie year.
Inconsistent. Now, this is what Brian Dable's known for, taking what we saw in game one of the preseason, that style quarterback with inaccuracy, where the game's it really sped up, very fast. Bullets, piss missiles, as Coach Dave McGinnis used to say. Taking that and then using his offense to allow layups for his quarterback. Cam Ward's got to hit his layups, and he missed them in preseason game number one. He's the number one overall pick, right? And there has been a tendency in the Titans organization where their top picks are allowed to just come along slowly, right? That we see if they do anything, it's in spurts, it's in splashes, and it's towards the middle to end of the season. This is year two. They're treating him like it's his rookie year. I understand that because they fired his head coach 6 games in after hiring the offensive coach to coach the quarterback. They fire him 6 games in, and then it's just a lame duck year, right? The Titans were awful. I understand how bad the offensive line was. I, too, would be gun shy of pressure and perceive that pressure's around me, even though it's not. There's a quick turnaround with this now. And Dable's got to do what he's known for doing to Josh Allen, Daniel Jones, and others. It's what will get him another head coaching job, quite frankly, Chad. And it's what will get the Titans out of the cellar of the AFC South and out of the cellar of the NFL overall. They're one of the worst teams right now. And the quarterback has to be not just the leader, but the guy who brings the juice and is consistent game in and game out. And right now, it's the inconsistency of Cam Ward that is consistent.
Yeah, and I like the accountability and the honesty from Cam Ward.
Yeah,
I don't mind when he leaves a game saying "we ass."
The intangibles are perfect.
I don't know that they're perfect. I mean, I like them.
He's what I would want, though, in a number one pick. I mean, there's number one pick worthy.
Yeah, I mean,
his intangibles, his leadership style. He's not afraid to go toe-to-toe with Simmons in his rookie year.
No, but he needs to be better to be able to do it and actually have
no doubt
people to have his back. Like, I do think there's a level of
I agree.
You're going to get pretty quick into this season and be like, hey, man, don't ruin the helmet holder because you're mad because you threw your second or third pick of the game, over here. Like, we're tired of seeing this. and hearing from you. And you can only say we asked so many times, and we're going to call you accountable until you legitimately are asked.
Right.
And that's you. That's on you as the quarterback and the leader. Look, it's fine now. And I think he's honest. And I found him amusing on the quarterback series on Netflix. I thought it was funny when he was cussing at little kids, the Boys and Girls Club or whatever, playing dodgeball. I also don't see that and immediately think, boy, that's what you want in a franchise
Well,
face of the city
what
quarterback
I
at
guess
all
what I mean is
times,
it
right? Like,
matters. Like it's not a 9 to 5 quarterback that the Titans have had since Steve McNair.
yeah, he just got to be better. I don't think
Has to
I
be.
think he's a hard worker. I think he certainly wants to win. I do think he's honest about his own performance and players around him, and he will hold himself and others accountable. But at some point, you got to be a good player too for people to follow you.
Well, and right, I know Blake Bedingfield at paulkowarski.com. Blake Bedingfield wrote and said that he's more of a game manager than he is game breaker. That can't be determined yet. I'm saying on Cam's side of things, he has to take over. We saw Jeffrey Simmons, who is the leader of the locker room. He went to Cam Ward this offseason and said, "This is your team. Take over." That's leadership from Jeffrey Simmons by doing that because this team goes as far as Cam Ward takes them, not Jeffrey Simmons, right? That's huge on Simmons' part to say now take over in year two. And Chad, they're not going to coddle him. I love what Robert Saleh said on the Rich Eisen show. He said, "Look, Brian Dable, he's just like me. We abide by the old school line of thinking, which is get to work, and we're not here to make friends. We're here to coach and win, and we're not going to coddle today's era and generation of players that expect to be coddled and babied. That's not us." I love that. It has been a while since we've heard that from the Titans, other than Vrabel. If you just start looking around, it's not like they went away from that. It's been Titans entertainment, not Titans football. They're back at football versions of what the good qualities of Mike Vrabel that didn't piss off people, that didn't rub people the wrong way. I love Mike Vrabel, and Saleh I think brings that quality that they really lacked with their last hire.
It's tough to call any one game, especially a season opener, a must win for a
Oh, well
team.
said, well said.
They need to beat the Jets. We'll just leave it there. They really need to beat the Jets in
Well
game
said.
one.
Coming up, more details of what you can expect right here at sportandstate.com, Clay Travis's new media platform. We are Hutton Withrow, presented by Hard Rock Bet. It has been the debut of Sport and State and Hutton Withrow this AM, this Wednesday, August 19th. Chad, the date finally arrived, and we're presented by Hard Rock Bet. We're thrilled about that. Thrilled to be a part of Clay Travis's new media venture, and it's going to be it's going to be fun. It's going to be a blast. We control what we're doing. We're working for one of our friends, and he's in control of everything he's doing.
Yeah, and I like how Clay said that. If you like it, you can credit me. If you don't like it, you can blame me. We'll say the same thing about our show,
Sure,
right? Like we take full
have to.
criticism, credit, whatever you want for the content of this show. We're going to talk about what we want to talk about, but what we want to talk about is what you want to talk about.
That's right.
So that's where we're going to put things first every single day is the audience. The audience will dictate what we're discussing, what direction we go in, what topics we're talking about. But we're going to be talking about what interests us, Hutton, because a lot of times we find that's what people are talking about at a bar or with their
That's right.
coworkers or at home at night with whatever trending story is going on. We want to bring that to you here on the Hutton and Withrow show. And we're going to talk a lot of football. That's one thing we haven't mentioned yet. This is going to be a football heavy show, especially college football during college football
Have
season
to.
or leading up to
Absolutely.
it because we love it.
Well, we're the heartland of America where football matters. The stadiums that are filled, it's live. It's not AI. Like it's impactful. It means something. It's human beings with human beings. That's it's one of the few places you could go now. And in college football stadiums, we're very similar, right? In the way we think. We're talking about what every one of the stadiums talking about. And
And
Chad,
I'll say this
go
too,
ahead.
right? Because I know we're gonna, hear from some people about all this stuff, and we're not afraid to say whatever the hell we want
That's right.
on this show.
Because we can.
If we ever have a politician on the show, it's because we wanted to have that politician on. Not because someone told us to have them on, not because someone
Right.
is pushing an agenda. It's because someone either has a good idea about a protect college sports bill or because someone has a different, unique thought on something. We're not going to bring people on here just to bring them on to service anything on
Right.
this show.
No.
That is not what we do. That is not what Clay hired us to do. So any criticism of that or anyone who wants to try to infer any of that, probably fair at past employer spots. Not fair here because we were hired to do our show. That's what Clay wants. That's what we want. I think that's what you want as our audience, as our viewer, as our listener. Your viewers now, you will be listeners at some point too. Once we launch the podcast,
That's right.
we want to do what you want to do. We're not here to service anything else but our audience and to grow this thing from the ground up. And we are starting at zero, like Clay Travis is. And Hutton, we can't wait to see what blossoms with all of this.
I'll say this: if this is the ground floor, it looks great. Like the feed, we're starting with a very high floor. Let's put it that way. If this is the ground floor, and a part of that is our producer, bringing back an old friend, longtime friend, JT, who joins us here on Hutton and Withrow. JT,
Look at him. Look at this guy.
Look at this beautiful man. We are thrilled to have you, man. We're glad you're a part of the show.
Hey guys, I'm excited. I mean, this has been, thrown together brilliantly. Whenever you give Clay a couple of months to sit and think, and then say, "Hey, this is something that I'm passionate about, and I want to be the boss, and I want to do what I want to do." It's exciting, and to read his article this morning, and to see the entire team that's a part of this, not just you guys, but everybody else that's going to be a part of helping out Clay. I'm really excited. What has Clay done that hasn't been successful? And there's like one thing that comes to mind, and you guys can only see from here up, but I actually have on Tennessee orange pants. Clay has given me a whole box of collegiate color pants. I think that's the only thing he's done that wasn't successful, but this is exciting and fun.
And
Not today,
JT's also wearing a
because we all know
thong.
that
He's
JT
also got an
actually
orange
isn't wearing
thong on
any
as
pants at
well.
all, on the show today, so we won't ask him to do it today.
Yeah, pants
But at
optional.
some point, we will have a daily JT pant reveal to see which SEC logoed pant he decided to wear each day. We can get his rationale behind why he wore Mississippi State and not Ole Miss or whatever his decision may be. In all seriousness, JT, it is awesome to have you back on board. Number one question I got when we released that reveal video yesterday, how did you make this happen? And I said, look, JT
Yeah.
is someone, he's good people. I think he likes working with good people that he likes to be around. I've always enjoyed being around him. I think it was as simple as that, but it may not have been to you. I don't know.
And you're also great at what you do.
Yeah, we appreciate it either way.
Well, I thank you, and I think the biggest thing that was neat to me that was appealing was that you guys can do your own thing, right? There's not a guy that's going to tell you that you need to talk about this or don't talk about this. You kind of mentioned the politician thing there. I think that's what's going to be exciting because we'll be able to talk about what people that watch and listen want to talk about, no matter what that is, and I think that's going to be exciting.
JT, tell us the story from your perspective of what Clay told today in his article about you going to him and asking if he was okay because everyone was calling and complaining about him.
Yeah, well, that was just one time, but that was early on. But yeah, I mean, people call and the crew at the Zone hired Clay to be Clay, right? I mean, he comes in as a writer, and he's doing a show with you, Chad, at 7:00 at night once a week, and then kind of realized how good he was. But then Clay was Clay. Clay said the things that he thought, and he didn't hold back, and then it kind of exploded, and that's new to Nashville radio in some cases, and a little bit on my end when I'm kind of in charge of hitting the buttons, and then the boss runs down the hall and says, "What's he doing?" This is Clay. That's why he's here.
Were you producing the day that he said the word penis like 150 times?
I think it was about 92 times in about in about 120 seconds.
It was the Brett Favre penis story.
Yeah, it was. There was.
Chad, the only thing I remember is this grandfather called in saying he was insulted because his grandson was in the car. And Clay just asked him, "Was what? You'd rather let him say the part of your anatomy?" And the guy was just like,
"I don't know why you'd have to use that word.
I guess you're right.
Why you would say it." And I love, by the way, this is the one thing I love about JT. Not one of the many things, but JT let that guy on the air. JT knew this guy is going to be gold when he goes at Clay about him saying the word penis.
Yeah, and it was he called me and said he just said this word, and I've got my grandson in the car, and I said, well, "Now you've said it twice." And then it went on to, we said it a couple of more times. So yeah, it was that was one of my favorite Clay tricks.
And then Clay ends up selling for $90 million or whatever it ends up being after that. It's amazing, No, this is gonna be fun, man.
I think Clay at one point considered buying that station. I'm seriously not joking. Like, that was a call I got from Clay. Was like, "Hey, it's trading at like a half a cent or whatever it was.
Have you heard
per share?" And he's like, "If they sell that, should we buy it?" And I'm like, "If by we you mean you, because I certainly don't have the money to buy it. Sure, why not?"
Did you guys see? There's a chance that we end up going to a Washington Mystics game for a live broadcast because there's only 4,000 seats in this arena. They have trouble selling it out. And Clay and Buck were discussing how he's got this idea, or someone emailed in and said, "Hey, you should consider this. Buy every ticket and have XXXY gear on for the show, for the game."
I would love for XXXY and Clay to do that. I will say I'm never one to jump into something that's going to get me attacked or thrown out of something.
The worst thing that could happen is you have a sex device hit you in the cheek or something.
Well, yes, that's always, look. You go to a WNBA game. That's always a possibility. I don't ever want to sign up for something that could get me arrested and or kicked out or told to change something. But yeah, sure. I mean, if Clay wants to do that as a company, the guy's offering up $10 million to a WNBA.
I think Trump would come. I think Trump would be at the game. Trump would be at the game, Jeff.
Why not? Never thought about attending a Washington Mystics game, and quite frankly, I'm still not thinking about it.
Hey, let's go through the lineup here for Sport and State. Daily lineup, Monday through Friday, starting right here at 8 a.m. Eastern. Hutton Withrow on sportandstate.com, and we're streaming at Hutton Withrow. That's our YouTube channel. Hope you go subscribe there and join us in the chat. That's where Chad is currently chatting with our YouTube channel. Following us, coming up later this month, the very best with Next Round Live. Chad, we're excited to be alongside and be a part and partnered with some great friends of ours who do a tremendous job with their platform.
You want to talk about another group, Hutton, who got tired of being told what to talk about and what to say?
There you go.
Left corporate radio for that
That's a good
reason.
point.
And another great success story. I mean, they started something on their
own.
Next Round Live.
They've crushed it.
And they've crushed it. We visited with Jacob Lewis. We visited their headquarters.
Amazing headquarters.
Terrific facility. Great green room to even walk through. Great studio.
Yep.
They are a self-running show. They're going to hit the ground running with that. You know, we're starting from zero. I think Clay is on his show starting from zero to an extent. That show is fully operational.
That's jet fuel.
Ready to go. Brooks Carter's a guy who's going to be working with us too, who works with their show. It's
thank
terrific
you, Brooks,
to have them on board. And I think it adds legitimacy to what we're doing.
Totally agree. So shout out to Next Round Live. They'll be following us starting later this month. Clay and Buck, the Clay and Buck show, they are going live on video via sportinstate.com. That is tremendous. That they've just recently ended up with this platform, right? Clay and I believe they own the video rights, right? Mm-hmm. Now they've got it at sportinstate.com. That's also jet fuel, largest radio network going. The Clay Travis show, it's returning. Following Clay and Buck. That's at 2 p.m. Central? Or 2 p.m. Central, 3 Eastern. And
what you saw this morning at 6:30 a.m. or whenever it was, that's the Clay Travis show.
That's the Clay Travis show.
That you're going to get every day. Yep.
And then on tilt with friends of ours, Kelly, Ariel, and Joe. It's going to be a great show for them, and that's where you're going to get the insight on what to play each and every night, so you can, make some straight cash.
I'm going to need that show to veer away from sports wagering into the world of conspiracy theories.
Oh,
because
God.
I think that
we're
pretty uncancelable, with Clay and his stance on the First Amendment and everything. Like, there are still certain things we could say, I'm sure, that might get us in trouble. I'm convinced that Kelly Stewart, I'm not going to spoil it.
Kelly Vegas.
But I think she's got some doozies of some theories out there that just might get her written about and or canceled. And I can't wait to see. I don't want to see her get canceled, but I can't wait to see that show to see if she ever discusses it. I'm going to egg her every single day to get into some of her crazier conspiracy theories so they can dissect it.
We need to get Kelly to talk about Maxim from back in the day.
Was she in it?
Briefly, yeah, for one edition, and this was college days, I believe. And also, Megan making money, Chad. Shout out to Megan. She is her recent post very Maxim-esque. So shout out there.
Who continues to crush it? Megan making
she
money.
Does. She does.
Kelly in Vegas.
So shout out to On Tilt. Looking forward to the show later today, starting at 4:00. Hey, for Withrow, I'm Hutton. Great debut, Chad. This has been fun. Let's do it again tomorrow.